figure, well, we're going to take on that mantle. But as Jesus once said, you do not know what you do. You do not know the cost that you're going to pay to be a Christian. You do not know the hardship that you're going to go through being labeled that name Christian. Before that there was a name Christian, those people who followed the example of Jesus Christ suffered tremendously. Some of us cannot even begin to understand the suffering for someone to actually be able to call themselves Christian. Many of us take it for granted now. I'm a Christian. And they think that that's all there is, to be called a Christian. In Amos, that was read earlier, Amos had to stand up in a community, probably even against his own will, and say something to that community, what God told him to say to that community, that you're wrong. You're going in the wrong direction, and you're going to be punished for that. Some people do not like to hear that they will be punished for the direction that they're going in. Because pride, envy, and that thing that someone says that this is mine, and I'm the only one who should have this, stops them from standing up for what is right. But Amos had to stand up. That is an example of Christianity. And as was read in Colossians, I believe that Summerfield is growing. They're reaching out to the community. They're doing what a church should do. They're reaching out to me, helping me to bring an additional ministry into the church. What I do is I help those who are formerly incarcerated. I help articulate what I have felt being in a situation and having to make a transition myself to help those who need that help also. And that is what we call the prison ministry. And I like to take that term off of prison ministry because these are people who are coming out, trying to get their lives together, trying to reintegrate back into the community and make life better for each and every one of you and for themselves. Because when you make your life better for yourself, when you make your life better for your neighbor, it helps everyone. Everyone benefits from that. Like I said, it's not easy being a Christian. And I would like to talk about the Good Samaritan this morning and the calling to discipleship about the Good Samaritan. I think that is the perfect example of what a disciple of Jesus is. And just to give you a little history about the Samaritans and Samaria and even that whole parable, we need to place that in some type of context. Samaria was in between Jerusalem on this end and Galilee on the other end. And to get to Jerusalem, where they would partake in the temple and the festivals and the prayer, you had to walk through Samaria. And where the Samaritan actually did a service for this victim who was lying on the ground was what they called the bloody path. That was a dangerous road where ambushes stood, where robbers, con men, someone who was standing there waiting for someone to victimize. So this puts this in a greater context when we talk about the Samaritan and what he actually did, how much he actually risked to help that person. So not only did the Samaritan go up to this person whom the Levite walked past and said, unclean, who the lawyer walked past and said, oh, that's a sinner. But the Samaritan risked everything, maybe even his life, to go and see that that person was all right. He picked that person up off the ground, took him to an inn, and said, take care of this person for me. Take care of all of his needs, and when I return, I will pay you whatever you did in service to this person, and additionally, I will pay you again. So helping someone, reaching out, maybe giving them some platitudes, God bless you, or maybe offering a little money there, the Samaritan took the next step and took ownership of that person that he decided to help. And that brings me to a collateral scripture here. Jesus said, once you put your hand to the plow, there is no turning back. There is no turning back once you say that you are a Christian. And if you are, you need to repent. You have to start all over again. It's not easy being a Christian. Once you put your hand to the plow, there's no turning back. The Samaritan story strikes a chord with me. Because often we hear about the Samaritan, but we never hear about what happened to that victim, what happened after that. How did that person feel who was actually helped? And I'm almost in a position to give some words about that victim. Because when I started my ministry here in Port Chester, I shopped around, went from church to church, and just to give some brief background about myself, I was a bad boy during the days, during my times. And people didn't know who I was, and I just came into this community trying to help someone, trying to be of service. And I went to a church and they said, well, I don't think we need a prison ministry, even though our scriptures are clear about visiting those who are sick, visiting those who are in jail. That person, they walked past me, like the Levite. We can't help you. We don't want that here. We won't call you back. Then I go to another church and tell them what I'm doing, the work that I'm doing inside the community. And they look at it, oh, we don't know this guy, he's probably a sinner. We don't know what he's going to bring to our church. Prison ministry, or what is that? And then I came to Summerfield Church. There was a new pastor here, because I hadn't come in a little while. And I met her, didn't know who she was. I walked in the door and I said, this pastor here, she's sitting among her flock, among the congregation. You didn't know one from the other, as it always should be, because everybody's saved in Christianity. And she says, I'm the pastor. And I started talking to her about my ministry and the things that I wanted to do. And she, Reverend Ortiz, in the form of Summerfield Methodist Church, was my Samaritan. She picked me up off the